Thanks and welcome to the 6:15 with me, Kejang Henry Atembi. Let's flag off with our top stories. Human rights organizations in Cameroon frown at administrative barriers and public mistrust, making their work increasingly difficult as socio-political crises shrink civic space across the country. And Limbe is grappling with a sharp drop in catches and increasing environmental strain as the busiest coastline, Town Beach, and with families who depend on the daily fish market raise anxiety over sustainability. The fish industry is becoming problematic, and Sports Minister has urged Fecafood and technical staff of the Indomitable Lions to take necessary measures to ensure triumph in the upcoming AFCON 2025 in Morocco. Top stories. Thanks and welcome to join me. I'm Kejang Henry Atembi. You can link up with us on our respective platforms. We begin from the southwest region where the the city of Limbe is grappling with a very sharp drop in catches and increasing environmental strain at its coastline, that is in Down Beach, Limbe. And as too many families are depending on the fish trade, sustainability is becoming a challenging issue. Cynthia Lati report.
Limbe in the southwest region of Cameroon is facing a tough season as fishermen return with unusually small catches, deepening economic worries for the many households that depend on daily fish sales.
As you see the women that are around, where they come like this, they can come in the early morning and wait for the fishermen. Presently, there's no fish all these times because we see as women there, we are bathing. They will see like that. After that, they will still take their bathing going back to home empty. But we have the difficult time and we have the good time sometimes, yes.
At Down Beach, the city's main fish landing site, cleanliness has also become a major concern. Tides continue to wash debris onto the shore, but the limited workforce cannot keep the area hygienic. Community members say the solution lies in engaging more young people. Training opportunities already exist in repairing fishing gear and maintaining the beach skills that could both support the industry and create jobs.
Yes, I train guys as far as this job is concerned. I train boys, and if you can see there are other ones working with me. They use solid wood, like we have cam wood, which in French they call it pado.
Residents hope that with youth involvement and renewed investment in the sector, the city can overcome its current challenges and restore its reputation as a vibrant fishing hub.
Well, that was Sherifa Saleh reporting there and not Cynthia Lati. And tension has gripped the Paco Vita in Douala following the suspension of its director, Emmanuel Njo, by the city mayor for insubordination. The decision comes after a very serious debate over management crisis. Details with Morindi.
Seals were placed on the office door of Paco Vita director in Douala by the Douala City Council. Upon his early arrival at the site Tuesday, the suspended director discovered the disciplinary action taken against him.
Je suis arrivé à 6h50.
I arrived at 6:50 a.m. and found agents from the Douala City Council placing seals. I asked for the reason and the official documents, but they showed me nothing. It was only later that a bailiff arrived with the documents justifying the action. The later of Roger Sandini dispense Valentine Emmanuel Njo from his duties. The decision was justified by the head of the Legal and Litigation Division of the Douala City Council. The suspension is based on mismanagement and efficiency at Paco Vita. He has also shown blatant disregard for the management committee chaired by the mayor. Moreover, he has verbally and even physically assaulted users, including some service providers who are official partners of Paco Vita. He removed the Douala logo from official Paco Vita documents and unfortunately claims that Paco Vita does not belong to Douala City Council. As controversy grows over who holds authority over Paco Vita, given that its director is appointed by the Minister of Sports, the Douala City Council clarified his position regarding management's responsibilities.
Mais il veut se superposer au maire.
He has distanced himself from the authority of the mayor. Behind this subordination lies a deeper issue of inefficiency, implementation of infrastructure projects, both those under construction and those yet to begin. On to further notice, Mukete Ekume, heads of the Legal and Litigation Division at the Douala City Council, will serve as interim director. He confirmed that Paco Vita remains open and accessible to all residents of Douala.
Thanks very much, Maureen D. And human rights organizations in Cameroon have been complaining that their job is becoming increasingly difficult as socio-political crisis, administrative barriers, and public mistrust is actually shrinking public space across the country. And as the world commemorates the International Human Rights Day, Cynthia Latte spoke to some of the human rights organizations, and this is what they said in their challenges.
In a context marked by socio-political crisis, post-electoral demands, social tensions, hate speech, bans on peaceful assembly or protest and arrest, human rights defenders in Cameroon denounce a shrinking civic space.
We have many attempts on fundamental freedoms and human rights, and that's in a daily basis. We cannot go in details, but
we have some communities that do not fully accept us. We also face rejections due to misunderstandings coming from the administration. Sometimes you need an authorization because of a word that is not well written, or the right organizations further point out that financial challenges are among the major obstacles limiting their impact.
Also, financing our activities, that's a very great challenge we are facing. So many organizations have closed because of the crisis in the world, such as the war in Ukraine, the rising of the Republicans in USA.
Financially, we are very limited. Sometimes you may have a budget to work in one community but cannot replicate it in another. According to the right groups, for progress to be possible, they should receive greater protection.
We need to have a legal framework protecting our work, our rights, and once we are recognized as human rights defenders and as people working for a right cause.
As the 77th International Human Rights Day was commemorated on December 10, the rights organizations reaffirmed their commitment to defending fundamental freedoms despite the challenges.
Thanks very much, Cynthia. Meanwhile, the Bar Council President, Barrister Ba Erimba, and some members of his bureau actually granted a press conference this afternoon in Douala, and that is on the sidelines of the International Human Rights Day. But above all, they pay homage to one of the frontliners of human rights in the country, late Batoni Yondo Black, who died recently. And it must be recalled that Yondo Black was a very strong human rights advocate. Now here is an excerpt of Batoni Ba Erimba prepared for us for the 6:15 by Cynthia Latte.
The Cameroon Bar reaffirms that the respect of human rights in a democracy is non-negotiable. It is by itself the very thermometer by which the temperature of the democracy is determined. The bar undertakes that equality, justice, and respect for fundamental rights are the pillars of democracy, and that any violation, however minor, risks leading the nation towards an authoritarian state or anarchy. We remind law enforcement and security officers that their primary duty, their allegiance, is to protect citizens and property, and not to treat people as adversaries. They are not the employees of any particular government, but they are the employees of the state to serve and protect the citizens of that state. The Cameroon Bar Association therefore calls on the government of Cameroon, in partnership with civil societies, to implement transformative measures to rebuild a just and reliant society where all citizens can live without fear for their lives, and who will live with certainty that they can express themselves as true citizens of the country.
President Barrister Eric Mba speaking there at a press conference in which they pay homage to late Bartoni Yondo Black, of course, on the sidelines of the International Human Rights Day. And over to the Northwest region, in spite of multiple calls for Bafut Council to return to base and continue development activities, the mayor says going to Bafut is not a matter of tomorrow, considering the security situation at the moment. For the issue was addressed in an interview during the budgetary session that voted over 1 billion CFA francs to run the activities of the council for the year 2026. Sherifa Saleh reports with calls from Northwest Chief Correspondent Annie Collins.
Though operating from Bamenda for some years now, due to security concerns, the Bafut Council has been ranked second on the list of most performant councils in Mezam division of the Northwest region of Cameroon. This according to a recent classification of how public investment projects were executed in 2025. According to the head of the municipal executive, what matters is the development of the municipality.
Averagely, we have complaints and threats that are coming. So I have the power and the mandate that I can take the councillors to Bafut. But who are those Bafut people who can come and join us in that session in Bafut? So, but if a Bafut man can move a step out of the municipality and get the information on how the council has been functioning, we say that it's far more better than taking political powers. That we have these powers, you take the people, and thereafter the after effects are more disastrous.
He spoke recently in Bamenda at the 2026 budgetary session, during which the sum of over 1 billion francs was voted, pending more from devolved services. Women and youth will be prioritized with a good chunk of projects next year.
We want to decentralize the Youth Empowerment Center and also construct women empowerment centers to the 4 zones of Bafut.
On behalf of the supervisory authority, the divisional officer for Bafut, Foku, had the list maintained and reminded councillors to keep contributing to the quick return of normalcy for the good of all.
And to prepare the next generation of leaders, 30 young municipal councillors in Bana, that is in the west region of the country, have completed a week-long training organized by UNICEF and the local council. This initiative is out to make sure the youth are equipped with civic, political and health-related knowledge to better serve their communities. Ambo Gladys Diban reports.
It is a new dawn for youth leadership in Bana in the west region of Cameroon. 30 young municipal councillors have wrapped up an intensive week-long training program spearheaded by UNICEF in partnership with the Bana Council. The goal is to equip young leaders with the skills and knowledge they need to take charge of community development and contribute effectively to public service, split across 3 key areas such as politics, civic education and health. The training focused on decentralization, national symbols and social challenges like early pregnancy and sexually transmissible diseases.
What I have to say against early marriages is let's educate our children so that they can be able to defend their rights in order to be leaders of tomorrow.
UNICEF says the move is about building leadership from the ground up.
These opportunities are not offered to everyone, as many youths are still gaining experience. I urge them to engage, speak up, and make use of these platforms, which provide support from partners like the Ministries of Youth and Women's Empowerment and UNICEF.
The mayor of Bana, Jean-Baptiste Sanga, says this is just the beginning, as these youths are being groomed to succeed current municipal leaders.
We are attending a UNICEF workshop, training the Youth Council and ACAP to address young people's concern. The Youth Council elections showed strong commitment from participants, encouraging them to take responsibility, engage in public life and serve their communities.
Se déterminer à savoir ce qu'ils veulent, à prendre parole en public.
Nous avons pris l'engagement.
We have pledged to act as mediators between the Bana municipality and the population to promote peace and to responsibly carry out the duties entrusted to us by our leaders and UNICEF.
Et surtout nos partenaires, à savoir UNICEF.
The training culminated in an oath-taking ceremony where participants pledged to apply their new skills responsibly.
Well, thanks very much, Ambo Gladys. And in Sports and Physical Education Minister Professor Narcisse Moelle Kombi has urged the technical staff and the entire Indomitable Lions team of government resolve to provide the necessary support ahead of the African Cup of Nations. This was during a preparatory meeting in which he said they expect nothing else but triumph during the upcoming African Cup of Nations slated to hold in Morocco. Hyacinthe Chair took part at that preparatory meeting and now report.
10 days to the start of the 35th edition of the African Cup of Nations in Morocco, the Minister of Sports and Physical Education, Narcisse Moelle Kombi, reassures the nation that the Indomitable Lions of Cameroon are at the disposal of the Cameroon Football Federation as they look forward to take part in the tournament.
Les Lions indomptables sont confiés.
The Indomitable Lions are at the disposal of FECAFOOT. Let the technical organ manage them as they set out for this expedition.
Les yeux, si tant est qu'un organisme.
Presiding over the preparatory meeting this December 10th in Yaoundé ahead of the biggest African football fiesta, Moelle Kombi calls for unity among the technical staff, the players and other actors to ensure a brilliant performance.
Il appartient à l'ensemble des acteurs concernés et intéressés.
I call on all concerned and interested actors, particularly FECAFOOT, to prepare the Lions to fly the flag of the nation higher. They must remain determined against all opponents, making use of the fighting spirit. Priorities must be given to football and the interests of the team, so that we can triumph in the tournament.
Pour seule motivation et finalité que le triomphe sportif camerounais et au-delà la gloire du football, la gloire des Lions indomptables.
And in what appears like a farewell and goodbye message, he acknowledges the efforts of Mark Breeze in the Lions' Den with 17 matches played, 9 victories, 6 draws and 2 defeats.
Ce en vertu de quoi nous tenons à réitérer nos félicitations au coach Mark Breeze, à l'ensemble de son staff et aux valeureux Lions indomptables.
David Pagou and his boys will therefore be taken off to Morocco in the days ahead as the competition kickstarts on December 21st, 2025, and the state reassures that all dispositions have been taken to enable the squads to produce results that will make the country happy.
That makes it for this edition of the 6:15 with me, Kejang Henry Atimbi. Monique Nausi is just right ahead with the brief, the actuality. Goodbye.